Hello. It's good to be in your space again. Dr. Kenneth Myers coming to you with this podcast. Am I using the right word, I hope, for this video run? I'm not very corral with the terms, but I'm glad you're able to overcome that and join me as we continue to talk about crime prevention. We have been looking at crime prevention from the child, go all the way up to from the child, from the toddler, all the way up to secondary school. We have looked to see how the different cultures and experiences from parents to teachers to administration to public to peers have influenced children, and of course them to really have made decisions that some parents do not want. As a matter of fact, I should think all parents may not have wanted them to take. When we reach into the young adults, or by the time they're 25 or into 30, you try looking for a more steady child that is enterprising and looking for a job and really building some kind of future with family. But you find sometimes that is a miss, and the child would walk away from that and find himself into difficulties or making decisions that are different from that which you as a parent have surmised. Disappointment is one of the things we have to look at in terms of expectation and outcomes. We have to look at the big picture of how it affects the national scheme and how it establishes what we're doing in terms of where we are going as a nation. I can say I'm dealing with one person. And you might be saying one person, yeah. One person can affect the whole nation as against 10 persons or 100 persons. But so we have to really look at the psyche and what is to be developed and what are we looking at in terms of change and radical change, maybe. Or change that is not radical, but change that is progressive. See, one of the things that we have to see is that when we come out of tertiary education, or even CXC, to secondary, what are we coming out with? And what are we presenting? Some parents are very, very disappointed when a child does not attain that status quo in terms of university, or the status quo of having many subjects. It is important for us to note that we have to culture our children to appreciate what success is. Success may not be 8 subjects. Success may not be a first degree. Success has to do with the composition and the whole thought life of a child in terms of interpreting perspectives of growth and how they are interpreting that within a culture of connectivity within a community. Did I say all that in one breath? Yeah, I did. I hope you understand that. The issue is, how do we relate to community? How do we come into that place where we can identify with peers and neighbors and villagers and storekeepers and people on the bus? How do we work those things? And we really have to train our children how to work with those differences. Because your child can leave home with a particular temperament and reach on the bus or in a taxi, and somebody says something or watch them somewhere, and the next thing they hold on to them and beat them and kill them. And you're like, my child? Because we have not sat down and gone through the whole psyche of how to work out these differences of temperaments and attitudes that are out there. We have put ourselves in a cocoon saying, oh, my child is fine. My child got 8 subjects. My child got a degree. But who is that getting a degree? Where is that child going? Into an office? Okay, the child with a degree, or even with the 8 subjects, applies for a job, gets a job, gets picked, goes for the interview. What are we dealing with? What? Is the child ready for interview? Is the child ready for questions? Is the child ready to how to answer those questions? Sometimes the child comes away from that interview much more angry and disturbed because of how the questions came and they were not prepared. Sometimes they are prepared, they get a job, and then when they get a job, they're not ready for the job because they do not know what the job entails. So we are sometimes putting our children at a disadvantage of how they ought not to be, or maybe how, well, how they should be. We do not take care to school them in preparing them for interviews, preparing them for the world of work. We just think it's a natural progression. Hey, get up, go, you apply, you apply, you apply, you apply. You get an interview, go, dress well, smile. It's more than that. And today, interviews are very important, more than the piece of paper with that award of a first degree or CXC. Because we are looking for character. We're looking for people who know how to behave, how to smile, how to engage, how to handle conflict, how to interface. Those are the kinds of personalities we are hoping to develop in terms of where we are going and how we are going. So I want you to take some time to find out, how do I present my children for the public world? How do I make my child a national figure? A national figure doesn't mean a platform figure, but just somebody who walks through the streets and is able to maintain a leverage of camaraderie, a leverage of honesty, a leverage of dynamism that brings out the flavor of our cultures as a people within your nation. It's important for you to identify with that. It's important for you to know that that child is growing. The child will be now 20-something, 20, 25, but within the next 10 years, it's 35, then it's 45. How is that child progressing even within those first 10 years? What's happening to the child? What's happening to the mind? What's developing there? What's the child learning? It's not just about learning about the job or learning about, let's say, university, and I want to pass. It's about establishing where I must go and how I must go in terms of what I'm doing. It's important for us to define that. It's important for us to realize how we are meshing and working out our salvation. And I say salvation, the fact that it's important for you to be able to live comfortably, righteously, with your neighbors, with your friends, and I said just before, villagers, etc., and understand how that is going.